horror fans, once again it's the Horror Miser Monty G, and welcome to my horror video tag. Now, what is a horror video tag? I'm pretty sure you're wondering, and basically what it is that people in the horror community, we go around tagging each other. Basically, you get tagged, and then you have to make a video, such as what I'm doing right here, and you answer questions in the video. And recently, I was tagged by my good friend Vicky. She's better known as Nightmare Maven. She was tagged by a friend of hers, and she did a video a couple days ago, and then she went on ahead and tagged me. So now I'm going to make a video, my horror tag video. Now I did one of these videos earlier this year. It wasn't a horror video tag, mostly about a life video tag. We can get those as well. Some of the people that, some of the non-horror people that have channels on here, but they're more movie channels and not horror related. Although some of them do like horror pictures, but they're more they're more likely just a general movie. They do tags as well. And I did one for a good friend of mine, horror gal Susan. She got tagged by a friend of hers, and she tagged me, and I did one earlier before. I might put that in the description down below so you can take a look at that. But so, my good dear friend Vicky, here is my horror video tag. Now, question number one. Vicky has right down here. First horror movie you remember watching? Interesting. Well, that has to go back a long time ago. Back when I was, I think, either 6 or 7 years old. But obviously, the first horror movie I ever remember watching was the Universal Monsters movie, The Mummy. Yes, I watched that. That was one of the first horror pictures I've seen. It's the first horror picture I remember watching, and that's what actually got me into horror. And yeah. So The Mummy is one of the first horror movies I've seen. Really loved it. I remember my brother waking me up, telling me that The Mummy was on. So I went up, woke up, watched it, enjoyed it very much. And that's how I got into horror. Again, I said before, the reason why I got into horror, because back then, as a kid, I thought horror movies were funny. I didn't think they were scary. They're creepy looking, yes. And I love the atmosphere that you see in all the Universal horror pictures. That black and white gives a great atmosphere. All the creatures look creepy, from the Wolfman to the Mummy to Bela Lugosi's portrayal of Dracula, the creature in the Black Lagoon. They all look creepy, but to me, they're all funny. But yeah, the first horror movie I ever remember watching was Universal's pictures The Mummy. So, question number two. Favorite horror movie? Now, most people who know me, my favorite horror movie of all time will be The Exorcist. Yes, you can't get any better than a horror movie than The Exorcist. Even though the picture came out in the 70s, it still holds as one of the greatest horror pictures I've ever seen. It's always one of my favorite horror pictures. Mainly because at the time when it came out, my mother tried her best not for me to watch it because she thought it was too scary for me to watch. But I says, Mom, I can watch it, not a problem. Eventually I did see it without her knowing about it, and I truly enjoyed it. Yes, some of the scenes at the time when I saw it were a bit creepy. Seeing the kid's head turn around when you were probably, I think I was probably 10 years old, kind of creeped me out a bit. But other scenes I laughed. Again, I thought it was funny. The scene where she's hopping up and down the bed, I cracked up at that scene. I actually thought that scene was so funny. Like I said, but seeing the kid's head turn around like that, and some of the other scenes, especially when she was cursing up a storm, really did scare me a bit. But other than that, I enjoyed it, and it will always be my favorite horror picture of all time. Let's see. Question number three. What horror genre scares you the most? Interesting. I really don't know if anything really scares me the most when it comes to horror genre. If anything, maybe well, it's not zombies. They don't scare me. Found footage doesn't scare me. Monsters don't scare me enough. Maybe some movies, the supernatural might be a bit creepy, but they don't really scare me as much as anything. Like I said before, I've seen this. I had this question asked to me a dozen times before, and I really don't know of any horror film that's actually scared me the most. or what scares me the most. There's really not a horror genre that scares me the most. Like I said, some supernatural movies might make me a bit nervous because of what they have, or some of the elements might go a bit too far, but they never really scared me before. Like I said, when I first saw The Exorcist, seeing Reagan's head turn around like that unnerved me a bit, because again, I think I was 10 or 11 when I first saw it. When I first saw The Exorcist. But no, I'm really not a horror genre. There's not really a horror genre that scares me at all. That's the only thing I can answer that question, is really none. None really have scared me. Sorry, guys. Question 4. What was the last horror movie to scare you? Hmm. That's sort of similar like question 3. Question 3 and 4 are kind of the same. There's now the difference between this one genre. There's not a genre that scares me the most, but I will say for question 4, when's the last time a horror movie to scare you? Now I will say this: Jaws didn't scare me. Fortunately, it did affect me to the point where I refuse to go swim in any ocean. No, because sharks are real. That's plain and simple. I will not go into the ocean because sharks are real. I have no problem going into lakes. I have no problems going into swimming pools. But if there's an ocean there, no, I'm not going in it because there's sharks there. Now, you might be able to convince me, hey, Monty G, look, there's no sharks there. The last time there's been a shark attack was like so many years ago. I'm going to say, no, sorry. There's always going to be that time where, hey, look, a shark might decide to come up to that area, and no, I refuse to get into the ocean. Now, that's the best I could come up with as far as how Jaws affected me to this point where I refuse to get into any ocean because, like I said, sharks are real. Yes, I know they don't eat humans. The only reason why they bite you is because they think you are a seal or some big guppy, and they just bite you, but they don't eat humans. But it's still devastating to get bit by a shark, and I refuse to get bit by a shark. So therefore, I'm not going to the ocean. You couldn't pay me $1 million to go into the ocean. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Question 5. Ultimate Screen Queen. Interesting. Now, there are plenty of other screen creams that are out there. You have Barbara Crampton. I think there's Adrienne Barbeau. You also have some other screen creams whose names escape me, but the ultimate screen cream is Jamie Lee Curtis. Hands down, enough said. What more can you say about the woman? Ever since she first started in Halloween and Halloween 2, then she appeared in The Fog. She was in Terror Train. Then she was in what was the other movie? Can't think of it right now. Prom Night. Prom Night. Yeah, Prom Night. She's in Prom Night. And then she also starred. Last year in the TV show called Screen Creams. So when it comes to screen cream, she is the ultimate screen cream, hands down. You can't get any better than Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, I know she's going to be doing Halloween again, but that's a story for another time. But she is the ultimate screen cream. There's really no other screen cream like her other than Jamie Lee Curtis. Question 6. What is a concept you'd like to see more of in horror? Now, that's a very intriguing question, and it took me a long time to come up with an answer, because almost every type of concept has been done to death in horrors. Whether it's the so-called torture porn after Saw came out, I think we've seen too many Living Dead or zombie that are come out right now that's being done to death. We can't get a good found footage movie to be come out before. We've seen slashers done to death. I mean, there's so many subgenres in the horror genre, and I think the only concept you might be able to do that's pretty good is home invasions. They can be kind of a hit or miss. I do think home invasion movies are pretty good. We have The Strangers, that was pretty good. There's some other home invasion pictures. Your Next, which I thought was very good. as well. I think if we do a lot better with home invasion movies, we might be able to see some good quality horror pictures out of that concept right there, the home invasion picture. So I would like to see that more in horror itself as home invasions. Question 7, favorite on-screen kill. Now, there are plenty of on-screen kills that I enjoy, but the favorite that I have of all is Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. There is a scene that cracked me, just totally cracked me up before. Jason takes a girl after he killed her boyfriend. He takes the girl, he puts her in a sleeping bag, drags her up, and literally just splats the crap out of her against a tree. And I died laughing. It's one of my favorite on-screen kills. I have another on-screen kill. Almost picked that over Jason, but this was much better, and that's the Devil's Rejects. It's the scene where the woman in the hotel after Otis and his sister, a baby doll, killed her husband and the other dude that was in the hotel room. She's wearing her husband's face that they peeled off, and she's wearing the face, and then she leaves the hotel room. She's going screaming out the hotel room, freaks the maid out, and she's not paying any attention to where she's going because she's freaked out over what Otis and Baby did to her and her friends, and she's not looking, and she's going in the middle of the highway until all of a sudden, smash! She gets smashed to death by a Mack truck. And this is one of the few times that Kelly actually went to a horror movie with me, and I'm in the seat dying laughing. I'm laughing my ass off it. Kelly just threw me one of those looks, and I told her, I says, "It's a horror movie. What did you expect?" The scene just cracked me up, and even though I really loved that scene, Jason's kill was much better. So that's my favorite on-screen kill. Friday the 13th Part 7. Jason bashes a poor killer against a tree in a sleeping bag. Question number 8 is favorite horror franchise. Well, there's plenty of favorite horror franchises. Obviously, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Screams. You got all these franchises. Insidious now, The Conjuring. They're all pretty good, but there's only one, and people who know me know that you can't top Freddy. The Nightmare on Elm Street series is my favorite series of all time, and you can't top Freddy. I've truly enjoyed all of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises that have come and gone. Now, a lot of people do get on me because I'm probably one of the few people that actually love Freddy's Dead, and a lot of people hate on that picture. But that's another conversation for another time right now. But I truly enjoy all the Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I like some better than others. I actually ranked the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises. I'm going to leave a link in the description below as far as when I ranked them. And of course, like I said, a lot of people hated on Freddy's Dead. Well, I can understand that. And a lot of people didn't like the remake starring Jackie Earl. I think it was Jackie. I forget his name. It'll come up to me in a minute. A lot of people did not like the remake. And it has some good pros, but it had a lot more cons than pros on it. But yeah, obviously, you can't top. And the last question is favorite horror director. Well, if obviously Freddy is my favorite horror icon, yeah, it means that Wes Craven is my favorite Hollywood director. It's so sad that to see him pass. He brought a lot to the horror genre with some of the excellent movies that he's done. Not just Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously the original remake, um, uh, The Hills Have Eyes, some of the movies that he's done, The Serpent and the Rainbow. One of his underrated works, The People Under the Stairs, was another one of his underrated works. He actually made A Vampire in Brooklyn better because that movie I thought was terrible, but because of his direction and what he brought to it was excellent. And of course, I think it was Before I Wake. Not one of his better ones, but you can't get better than Wes Craven. I think he's obviously, of course, the Scream franchises was a great way for him to bring the slasher genre back to horror. So Wes Craven will be always be my favorite director. Of course, we have others such as newcomers such as James Wan. Obviously, he's pretty good. Obviously, Toe Pooper, John Carpenter, all those other guys. They have done a real good job. And John Landis, I can get John Landis in American Werewolves in London, and the Michael Jackson Thriller video. But you can't top Wes Craven. He will always be my favorite movie director, horror director. So those are the 9 questions that I asked. So Vicky, there you go. I will send this over to you as well, so that you can take a look and see the answers that I have for you. I hope you get a crack out of that as well as some of the answers that I gave to you. And I hope you, my horror fans, also get a chance to enjoy some of the answers that I gave out to you. And if you want to be tagged, hey, let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to get horror, you want to get tagged, hey, just let me know. I'll tag you, and then I'll even put the questions in the description box below, so that way you have the questions, so that way you can answer those questions as well. And plus, I'll also put the questions up on the video, so that way you can see all the questions. So, horror fans, that's my video for today. I hope you do, and if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share. And also, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you can become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description below. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I am also a part of a group on Facebook called Killer Flicks, where we talk about horror all day long, and on Fridays it's free for all Fridays. We basically talk about any movies. And if you want, hey, look, you can talk about Thor Ragnarok or the Justice League, which is coming out next Friday. As a matter of fact, I'll have my thoughts on video of the Justice League, which will come up next Sunday. I'll have that up once I get back and watch it, and you'll see my video for my thoughts of the Justice League. And also, I will have my the season finale. My last recap of the season finale of American Horror Story Cult, I will have that up as well next week. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember, horror rules.